Hello, hello everyone. Hello, hello. How are we doing today? So the question I was asked and I wanted to address today is, should I teach math before or after I teach the alphabet? How much is too much? And I would say it's not what you're teaching, but rather how. So I'm Norma Jean, founder of Time to Shine Teaching. I've been helping children and their families experience success in their learning for 20 years now, and I love what I do. So let's talk about the alphabet first, okay? A lot of teachers and a lot of families like to teach their little ones the alphabet in the sing-song, right? A, B, C, D. I don't do that, and here's the reason why. Because then it's just a song, and there's really no, there's no real meaning attached to it. So then you have to go back and you have to connect the song to its meaning, which is something different, right? That becomes a multi-step process. So first they need to be able to visually recognize the symbol or the letters and then attach meaning to it. So in this case, it's the name of what the symbol is and what sound it makes. And I put a bigger emphasis on the sound and less on the name, but I do teach both. And if I were to try and teach all 26 letters at once, I'm going to lose most of those kids, aren't I? Right? So when I teach letters, I do it slowly, one at a time. First, I teach short vowel A. Then I teach M. Then we put A and M together and we read and spell. Then I teach S and I put those three together and we read and we spell. And then I teach the next letter in my teaching sequence, and so on it goes, right? Slow, steady, cumulative, right? Hi, Joanne. Each lesson is building on the previous one, and this also creates the built-in repetition required for most early learners, right, to bring them to mastery. And so math isn't any different. And again, I see a lot of teachers giving the kids 1 to 10, and the kids have to recognize the symbol, again, the numbers, and attach meaning to it as well. And in this case, each of those symbols represents an amount. And math is very abstract, which is why so many children struggle with math. So I like to use concrete manipulatives, which make it a little bit better. But also, what I find to be really effective is using real life examples. So my process, again, I don't teach 1 to 10. I teach 1. Then I teach 2. Then I teach 1 and 2 together. And we're going to explore those numbers in so many ways so that when I move on to 3, they totally and completely understand 1 and 2. So again, cumulative with each lesson building on the previous one. And every time you add a number to it, you're going back and reviewing. So the kids are really getting it, right? And after I teach 1 and 2, I'll probably play some sort of a game to help make it concrete and relatable to the kids. So we might say, well, how many eyes do we have? How many hands? How many legs? How many feet? How many noses? How many chins? And you can do that for all kinds of things that work for the child that you're working with, right? And then when I can, I tie the alphabet in with the math, and that's even better, right? So if I'm teaching A says A for apple, and I'm also teaching 1 and 2, I'm going to do activities that will incorporate both that target sound and the numbers. So we'll probably have 1 apple, and then we'll have 2 apples, and we will talk about more and less, and we'll have 1 worm eating the apple, we'll have 2 worms eating the apple, right? We'll count apple pies, right? But just numbers 1 and 2 to start with. Excuse me. So to answer your question, I do teach them together, but it's about how you teach, right? We have to keep in mind what the real process here. We're actually getting the kids to visually see the symbol and be able to identify what it is. And that's a lot of symbols for them to be memorizing all at once. So we need to be slow, and we need to be methodical, and we need to just keep building on what we've already taught. And when you do, you're going to experience success with those little ones. And it's not a race, and I say that to teachers all the time, right? It's not a race. Don't worry about the finish line. Worry about the fun of getting there, and that's what it's really all about. So I did want to also mention that tonight I am hosting a webinar where I'm going to share 5 of my top foundational teaching methodologies with everybody. It's at 7 p.m. Pacific Central Time. I welcome you to join me. I've been getting some great feedback on it. This is the 3rd time I'm offering it, and I'm going to be closing the door on that pretty soon, so jump in while you can. And I'll see you tonight, you guys. Happy teaching out there. Oh, and I will put the link in the comments for you. Have a great day.